Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta, I come from Norway and I love makeup. And today's video is going to be about Alterego, which is a brand that usually does like dupes of eyeshadow palettes from different brands, especially Natasha Denona and Anastasia Beverly Hills and Huda Beauty. Alterego asked me if I wanted to receive a couple of their palettes to try out, and I said yes. And the palettes that they sent me are the Coastal palette and the Midsummer palette. So I'm going to show you some swatches, and then I created this look that I'm wearing right here using both of them. And they also sent me these beautiful lashes that I'm wearing that I really ended up loving, and they're in the style hipster. They also sent me an eyeshadow base, but I forgot that I had it, so I didn't use it today. But I will update you later when I have tried it and if it actually makes my eyeshadow last longer or not. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to show you the palettes first and then do the tutorial or like demo of this look. First off, this is the Midsummer palette. I really enjoy the cover of this palette. It's just super romantic, and the inside looks like this, and I feel like it doesn't necessarily look that much like the cover, which I wish it would have, but I mean, this is a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills, what is it called, Nouveau palette, so they are kind of bound to that color story. But you can see that there are some beautiful duochromes in here. I especially like this shade, and I think this one is really beautiful too, but it's more of a satin shade. And the more sagey color here is also really beautiful. And of the mattes, I of course like the green and the purple down here. So that is the Midsummer palette close up. And that was the whole color story swatched out on my arm, and obviously this is not their own color story, it is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette, but I think it's very pretty. It's giving me kind of bohemian vibes and just like desert and some flower fields, I guess, with the purple and stuff. And I'm just going to show you with different lighting. So there's a lot of just regular shimmers here, which are just not what I usually reach for. But I do really like this military green. It's very like dusty and neutral. And you have like these more clay kind of tones. You have some super deep satin shadows. This one is a duochrome. This one is just a super deep brown. And my favorite shimmers are actually this one right here, which I've already mentioned, I think. And I really did like these two shimmers as well. They're very beautiful. So yeah, that is the Midsummer palette swatched out with some different lighting. And then we have the Coastal palette, which looks beautiful as well on the outside. It's kind of minimalistic but really pretty, and it looks like this on the inside. So this is a dupe for the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette. I don't remember what it's called. I will just leave it up here on the screen, but it's very pretty, and I actually even bought this for a friend for her birthday, so I do think it's a beautiful color story. It's a little bit more neutral, but it still has those deeper shadows, and I think it's really pretty. And especially like the shimmer down here, I think is so pretty. And of course this one is really beautiful. And yeah, I'm very curious about this one, but it's not something I'm interested in trying right today, but at least I have it to try later. But that is the Coastal palette. I'm going to swatch it in like 2 sections because it's such a big palette. That is the first part of the Coastal palette swatched out, and oh my god, we do have some really beautiful shimmers in here, and I also just love the selection of mattes. So I'm changing up the lighting a bit so you can see a little bit better, but we can start with the mattes. You have this super deep one, which I am using in this video as well, and you have this beautiful pink, you have something a little bit more regular brown, and then a light pink right here, so you definitely have a lot to help you with the blending. And with the shimmers, you have this stunning one. I think this is the one I actually used in this video as well. Super sparkly and beautiful. It has a lot of like multicolored sparkles. Now, this one was very like hard and squishy in the pan. If anything, I would use it as a highlighter, I think. This one is more of a dark satin. This one is super sparkly and a duochrome, which shifts from blue to pink. And then this last one I also used in the look in this video, and it's really beautiful. It's a duochrome blue to purple with a super blackened base, and that is the first half. Really, really beautiful in my opinion. And that is the last part of the Coastal palette swatched, and I find a lot of these shadows a little bit boring, like from the shimmers. I mean, this one is pretty, the pink one. It has a slight golden sheen to it. But shades like this and this I find a little bit boring. But then you have this one, which I just think is so stunning. It's a super sparkly, almost like a champagne-y silvery taupe or something. And then this one was like, I mean, you can't almost see it. It's just like a little bit of sparkle, and it's more of like a balm. And I even searched like what do they call it, and they say it's a subtle golden glare. So I don't know what I would use that for, but I do find the mattes to be really pretty. I really like these more muted mauvey tones, so together with the first part of the palette, these are really, really beautiful. And I will say that the mattes in general have a very like velvety feel, and they build up really nicely in the swatches. And as usual, I don't have anything as a primer on my arm, so these are just swatches straight onto the skin. But now I want to show you how I did the look that you saw in the intro. So for the look I'm going to create, I want to use some shadows, both mattes and shimmers from both palettes, so we will just see what I can come up with. But I'm just going to start out with this deepest shadow in the outer corner, and I'm using my 022 brush by Glam Shop. The shadow seems to be picking up nicely on the brush without any excess powder, and I'll just be placing that in the absolute outer V. Now I do get some fallout, but it's not a lot, and I did pick up quite a bit on my brush, but it seems pigmented, seems to be blending nicely. I think I will probably use either this purple or some of the mauves to blend that deepest shade out with, but for the inner parts of the lid, I think I'm just gonna use the green here, and I feel like this one has enough like yellow in it to blend this one out and kind of look more minty green. We will just have to see, but I'm going to use my Stasi Alex brush in, it's WG1, and apply this all over the inner part of the lid. And maybe I won't go way too far in, but maybe like up until here or something, just so that I can have a little bit of a highlighted area in the inner parts of the eye. Eyeshadow is also very pigmented and seems to be blending very nicely as well. So now I'm taking that vanilla shade with my brush from What's Up Beauty called R105. That is a very pigmented light shade, I would say. It's basically my skin tone though, so it maybe didn't get as green as I was intending it to be, but it still looks really nice and grungy. And I just wiped off the brush that I used with the green shade, and now I'm going to take this one, and I'll just place this like on top of what I have here, just because I didn't want it to initially be that far up with the dark shade, but I kind of did that here accidentally, so I had to like adjust on this side. Now I can hear my puppies coming here. Oh, that is looking so pretty though. Someone wanted to say hello. They've both been sleeping on the couch. Anyway, I'll just finish off building up the... Anyway, I'll just finish up building up this lavender kind of shade. And I'll see if I want to do more for the lid, but I don't think so. Oh, and I'm already loving this just as a matte look. I feel like the shadows are blending just so pretty. For shimmers, I'm going to use this in the outer corner. It just looks so stunning. So I'm just going to use my What's Up Beauty brush R106. And it seems to be picking up quite nicely. I'm just going to try to use it dry first and see how it works. And I mean, it looks really good already. I could try with the Glam glue on the other eye, but I mean, if it looks good without, I don't feel like I need to do that. It is feeling a little bit dry, but I kind of think that's a good thing, because that will probably mean that this will hold up very nicely on hooded oily eyes. And that's looking very pretty. I need something that's quite light for the inner lid. I mean, I would have used this one, but I kind of want to emphasize a little bit more the green tone, and although this is more silvery. I feel like this is the closest one if I'm not going for the deeper shimmers in this palette. So I'm just gonna use this one for the inner part of the lid. I will say that is looking really pretty, and I don't know if you can see that in this lighting, but both of the shimmers are quite sparkly and they have a lot of different colors in the sparkles, and I think they just look really beautiful. So I don't know what I was expecting, but this is really nice, and especially since I didn't use any glitter glue or anything, I feel like they're performing really beautifully and they're very easy to use. For the lower lash line, I want to make kind of a halo effect, and I think I will use this one as the matte and this one as the shimmer. And now I'm using my Glam Shop 000 brush, which I have 3 of this one because I just love it so much. So as I said, I will just be placing that in the inner and the outer part to create that kind of halo effect. Taking the other brush that I have that is the same type, and I'm just applying this dry in the middle. And I think I'll end up using this shade also for the inner corner of the eye right here. But now I'm just gonna finish off the makeup before I show you the close-up of this whole look. And that was the close-up of this eyeshadow look, and I also put on the lashes that I mentioned in the intro that I also got from Alterego, which are called Hipster, and I really love them. They're very dramatic, and I did cut a little bit of the lashes, like this much of the lashes, but I feel like they really completed this look. And just when I took the photos of the look and I checked them out on my phone, I just saw that the blend was like so beautiful. And I didn't really do anything extra today. I felt like doing the look was very effortless, so I'm very impressed with these mattes and how easy they applied. If anything, I will say that they don't look as dark as they do in the palette. For example, this green right here, I feel like it does look a little bit more kind of gray toned. And never mind this, I just managed to scratch them with the other palette. But I feel like you could build them up easily, and they just blended so beautifully on the lid. So I'm just very happy with how this look turned out, and I'm so happy with the photos, and I hope that the close-up showed like how well the shadows blended and how beautiful those shimmers were. And do keep in mind that I didn't even use glitter glue for it, so that's very impressive to me. I feel like I might have a little bit of fallout under my eyes, but that might be just leftovers from when I was applying it, or it could be that it's actually falling off a little bit because I didn't use any glitter glue. So I would just generally recommend using a glitter glue just in order to prevent fallout during the day. But all in all, I'm so impressed with these. And you know what? They do have like a dupe for the Metropolis palette by Natasha Denona, and I don't know if that palette is discontinued, but I am on the waiting list, like, to see when it gets available again. And if it doesn't get available, I might end up purchasing the dupe from Alterego because I really enjoyed this formula. It was just super easy to use, and especially the color story in the Metropolis dupe, it's called Artemis. It's just very much everyday, and I feel like this formula is perfect for beginners, or if you just want something super simple but still looking very blended and beautiful without having to spend much time blending it. But I think that's it for this video. Keep in mind this is just a first impression. It's the first time I'm trying this brand, but it's a very positive first impression. So I will of course be trying it out more, especially for like everyday looks and stuff. I feel like you can do so many beautiful mauve looks with this palette, and the other one has a few more warmer tones that I feel like are also really perfect for more everyday looks. And this shimmer right here, I just really want to use it. I thought I was going to use it today, but I didn't. So there's a lot to be done with these palettes, especially for more neutral looks. Oh, and before I forget to mention it, I did actually get an affiliated code with the brand as well, which is just Marta's Makeup. So if you're deciding to try out the brand and you want a small discount of 10%, then you could just use Marta's Makeup if you want. But I know there's a lot of different creators out there who also have codes, so just use whomever's code you're most comfortable with using if you want a small discount on their products. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!